Hi everybody, welcome to part 3 of the Gentle Beginner's Flow series. We just have 2 yoga blocks, a strap, and your yoga mat. So go ahead and take one of your blocks and set the other one next to you. We're going to go into Virasana, Hero's Pose. So the yoga block is going to be on the lowest setting for me, and I'm going to place it right underneath my seat and sit on it with my knees on the mat and shins on the mat. Sometimes if you need it to be higher, you can place 2 blocks side by side. This will be the next highest setting and place it underneath your seat as well. I've seen other people do this. For me, it's comfortable to just have it on 1 block, so that's also an option for you. So get seated in Virasana. Have your hands lightly on your legs and sit up nice and tall. Draw your belly button in to your spine, draw your shoulders back, soften the eyes, and focus on the breath. Breathe in deeply from the nose, and exhale all the air out from your nose. As you exhale all your air out, think of squeezing both sides of your waist in like a corset, drawing the belly button into your spine. And then exhale, fill the belly up, 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 up. Exhale all the air out. Let's introduce some movement into our spine. So draw the belly in as you exhale. Inhale, arch the spine, reach the chest up. Seated cat-cow. So we could just start to do what we normally do in a different position here. Exhale. Take 3 more breaths like this. Inhale. Start to move with the breath, breathing fully as you go through the movement. Then bring your spine back to neutral and start to do some side bends. So bring your right hand down to the ground and reach over to your right. Bring your left hand down, reach over to the left. And do that again, 2 more times on each side. Deep inhale into the ribs, expanding the spine. 1 more time on each side. See if you can twist your chest up toward the ceiling so you're not collapsing. And then set your hands down. Now take your block if you have it, and then hold the ends of it like this, squeezing it nice and tight. We're going to start to serve the block forward and then pull the block back. Keep squeezing it the whole time, turning on your chest and arms, and then pull it in. Two more times. Keep squeezing that block. Push your sit bones down, squeeze your glutes. See if you can sit up higher. Last time here, pull that block in. Then reach that block up at a high diagonal and lower that block down towards your hips. Reach that block up, keeping a soft bend in the elbows, but squeezing the block the whole time. Nice long breaths. Last time here, squeeze your glutes, push your shins down, bring that block down to your hips, and then bring your chest up to the height of your chest. Twist to the left, then twist to the right. We're just gonna keep squeezing that block here as we twist. See if you can squeeze your abdominal muscles even more to get that deep twist. One more time on each side. Squeeze that block. Twist your abs. Twist, twist, twist that rib cage around your spine then turn to face the front, and then set that block down. You could take the other block out from underneath you as well, set them off to the side, and come onto your hands and knees. Take a few cat-cows here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last rep here. Then exhale. As you come into your cow, bring your right foot up, reach your heel up, and then exhale, draw your knee into your nose. Inhale, reach that heel up. And exhale. Inhale. One more time, draw the belly button in. Set that right knee down, bring the left foot up. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale. Exhale. Last one here. And exhale. All right, now take one of your blocks. You're gonna have it on the height like this, the second highest height. Place it right on top of your butt. You should be able to balance it here and just hold it. Now, we're gonna start to move. So lift your left knee up just a few inches off to the side for tiny fire hydrants and set that knee down. Lift it up, set it down 3 more times. Keep that block totally steady. We're working on pelvic stability here, which also works out your core. Last 2, soft tap, last 1, and soft tap, set it down. Right leg now, adjust your block if you need. Then bring your right knee up and set it down. So instead of going for our full range of motion here, possibly moving the pelvis, we're gonna keep the pelvis totally square using our abdominal muscles to help here. Last 2, last 1, set your right knee down, take your block off, or let it fall to the ground. Great, take a child's pose here. Then I'm going to take my blocks and set them right here for our next sequence of lunges. So you're gonna be kneeling first. Set your right foot in front of you for low lunge. Raise your arms overhead, inhale. Then you can set your hands down, try to find that balance as you bring your back foot up onto the balls of your feet. Inhale, high lunge. Now grab a hold of opposite elbows, keeping your front leg bent. For a chest expansion, reach your chest up. You should feel a nice stretch in your shoulders. Set the hands down, reach over to your right. I'm holding on to my block as I twist. Set your hands down, set your back knee down, and simply switch feet and switch legs. Low lunge on the left leg. Okay, and then come into your high lunge, whatever is comfortable for you. Keeping that back heel up, reach your arms up, inhale. Grab a hold of opposite elbows. Try to flip the grip or the orientation and flipping which hand is behind the other here. Set your right hand down, twist to the left. Set the back knee down, switch legs. So that was 1 set on each leg. We're gonna do 2 more times on each side. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, inhale, high lunge. And then exhale, grab a hold of your elbows, reach your chest up. Try not to arch too much into your back. We want to focus more on just opening up the chest, getting just a slight extension in the upper back rather than the lower back. Set the hands down, twist to the right. Set the hands down, switch legs, low lunge, inhale. Exhale, inhale, high lunge. Back leg is straight, hips are square. Grab a hold of opposite elbows, chest expansion. Exaggerate this if you can, really opening up through the back of your heart. Set your hands down, twist to the left. Exhale, set your hands down and switch legs. 1 more time. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, high lunge, inhale. Exhale, grab a hold of your elbows. Then set your left hand down, twist to the right, inhale. Set your hands down, set your back knee down. One more time on the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, high lunge. Grab the elbows behind your back, open up your chest. Set your hands down, twist to the left. Then bring your back knee down. And then you can take another child's pose here. Now, come back into tabletop. Normally, tabletop is with shoulders over wrists, right? Now, step one, both your hands, one handprint away toward the front of your mat. Tuck your toes under, come right into downward facing dog. And pedal out your feet. Our first down dog of the day usually has a lot of movement, and we stay here for about 5 breaths. So, deep inhale and deep exhale. Think of moving your ankles and also pushing your hips back up higher and higher toward the back of your mat. 2 more breaths here. You can lift your legs up, shake out your legs, shake out your hips, get all those kinks out. Okay, now stay here in downward facing dog. Bend your knees, tap them into the mat for 5. Lift up to down dog for 4. Bend the knees, straighten the knees for 3, for 2. Not moving the feet or hands at all. 1. Hold here in downward facing dog. Lift the hips up higher. Find a deeper stretch in the back of your legs. Then set the knees down. Take a child's pose. Come into forearm plank. Forearms are on the mat. Set your feet back. Tuck your tailbone under. You can even think of rounding the back just a little so you can feel your abs curling. And stay here for 10, 9, squeeze the legs together, 8, 7, push your chest away, 6, 5, 4, tighten your abs, 2, 1, set the knees down, take another child's pose. All right, side plank. So come into hands and knees again. Make sure you don't have any blocks in the way. You're going to dial your right foot toward 4 o'clock. Straighten your left leg back as you turn your body to the side of your mat and reach up for a side plank. So tighten both sides of your waist. Try not to let your body arch back. You want a nice, straight, neutral spine as you reach up. Push your knee into the mat a little bit more as you lift your underside waist up, finding more engagement in your obliques. Keep your neck long and find some active engagement, even through that back leg, straightening it out and pushing it into the mat. Then turn and do side plank on the other side, turning that bottom leg out, straightening the top leg. Reach up, 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 pulling that waist up toward the ceiling, drawing the ribs in so the back isn't arching. Then set the hand down. Shake out your wrists if you need. Very nice. Then go ahead, come back up to standing. Stand at the top of your mat. We're gonna do a half sun salutation flow here. Half sun sal A. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Stretching nice and long. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Maybe walk the knees out. Bending and straightening, alternating between the legs. Then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold one more time. And inhale, rise all the way up to standing. And exhale, dive forward again. Keeping a soft bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Find length in the spine and keep that length as you dive forward. Inhale, rise up to standing. And then exhale, dive forward one more time, lengthening through the back of your legs as you dive forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Grab a hold of opposite elbows and let your head hang heavy. Shake your head side to side. Sway your hips even a little. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. Then slowly let your body rise up, rolling the spine up. Then reach your arms overhead. Root your feet down as you reach your arms overhead to find more length. Inhale, then exhale, lower the hands. Okay, now let's go into another sequence. Start to inhale, raise your arms overhead, sink your hips down into chair pose, Utkatasana. Then exhale, dive forward, straighten the legs a little bit more. Inhale, halfway lift. Then exhale, set the hands down, come onto hands and knees, and you'll come into downward facing dog. All right, then just pedal the legs out, stay here for a moment. Bring your right foot forward, come into a high lunge here, keeping your back heel lifted, raise your arms overhead. Making sure the breath is steady and even the whole time. Then you can bring your hands down and simply switch feet. So left foot is forward, right heel is lifted and behind you. Inhale, reach up. Set the hands down, come back into downward facing dog. Then travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, come right into chair pose, sink the hips down, reach the arms up. Then stand all the way up, exhale, lower the hands down. 2 more times like that. Inhale, reach up. As you sink your hips down, exhale, forward fold. Reach out of your legs, inhale, halfway lift. Now exhale, come into hands and knees. Then downward facing dog. Stay here for a moment into down dog. Then bring your right foot forward, high lunge. Make sure your knee is over your ankle and your feet are far apart enough so you feel stable. Then you can set your hands down. I say that as I'm about to fall over, and switch feet. Reach up. And exhale, set the hands down. Try to move with the breath. Come into downward facing dog. Then walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Reach all the way up as you stand. Exhale, lower the hands. One more time. Inhale, reach up as you lower the hips down. Exhale, straighten the legs and dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, set the hands down and knees down. Bring the hips into the air for down dog. Bring your right foot forward. Come into high lunge. Set your hands down, switch legs. Inhale as you reach up, exhale as you set the hands down and come into downward facing dog. On your next exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. This is called Ardha Uttanasana, by the way. Ardha meaning half lifting up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Full forward fold. Inhale into chair, Utkatasana, reach up. And if you feel like in chair you're bending over a lot, straighten your knees a little bit more so you're not sinking so deep into it so that you can lift your chest a little bit higher. Then rise all the way up to standing, exhale as you lower your hands. Very nice. Then we're gonna make use of our strap for this next part. You don't technically need your strap. I think a lot of people can go without it. So we're gonna have our hands behind our back like this. And the strap is really just for people who are really tight in the shoulders. Another option is to grab opposite elbows like we did earlier. So you have options. Another option is to interlace your fingers behind your back without the strap. So I'm gonna use the strap today. Have your feet Nice and wide on your mat, facing the long edge of your mat here. And when you raise your arms out to the side, you want your wrists over your ankles. So sit up nice, stand up nice and tall. Hold that strap behind you. Pull it to the side so that you're really opening up your chest here. Inhale. Exhale, dive forward, hinge at the hips. Keep pulling that strap. Try to go as far as you can. You want to be at a distance with your feet where your head can touch the ground, but only just barely. Inhale, lift up just a little bit. Find length, and exhale, dive into that forward bend. Try to bring your arms further overhead. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And slowly, slowly start to lift up. Try not to let the blood rushing to your head make you dizzy. You can set the strap off to the side and then turn to face the front again. Okay, and we're going to go into boat pose. So this variation of boat pose, I'm gonna have my hands behind my legs. You can do any other variation with your hands wherever you want. You can have them down here. This helps you find a little bit length in your spine, or you can straighten your legs and reach for your toes, whatever you feel like doing today. I'm gonna have my hands right here, have my knees bent, and then flex and point your toes. So point, flex 10 times. Just working some ankle mobility in here. Really good way to get your day started if you're doing this in the morning, or to stretch out your tired feet at the end of the day. Okay. And then once you do 10, you can set your feet down, shake out your legs if that was a lot, and windshield wiper your legs. Because if you were windmilling your legs, you would be doing something that is not yoga. Okay, now come back to neutral, and we're gonna do pigeon. So bend your left knee and bring your left leg behind you. And I'm going to face you, just stay where you are, just so you can see the alignment of my hips. So oftentimes when people do pigeon, they're not aware of the tilt of their pelvis and the alignment of their pelvis. So if you notice here, my right hip, my right pelvis, which looks like the left to you. My right pelvis is higher than my other pelvis, the other side of my pelvis. So we want to keep our hips square and neutral, not neutral, but square as much as we can, because it puts even pressure on our spine. So when my pelvis is tilted like this, one side of my spine is actually receiving more pressure than the other, and that could be really bad for it. So one way to counteract this, well, 2 ways. Bring your foot closer into your body toward your opposite leg, and that should make that lessens the external rotation of the leg in front, and that makes it easier to get into pigeon. Another way, which is what I like to do, place a block underneath your bent leg. So you're actually sitting on it, and this should make it a little bit easier. So you should expect to have some arch in your low back here. This is a prep for other poses like king pigeon pose, which is a lot harder, is a full back bend. But this feels really nice just doing it during a yoga session. You can also place a blanket, so you would roll up a blanket and place it longwise underneath your hips. And that can feel a little bit more comfortable. Now go ahead and come onto your forearms, just lying down, getting that arch out of the back, and spending more time opening up that hip. Inhale, and exhale. Make sure you're coming back to the breath. Come out of pigeon here. Come onto the tips of your fingertips right in front of you. I want you to start opening up the chest a little bit more. So just bring the back of your heart forward and then bring it back. Bring it forward and bring it back. I even feel a stretch in the front of my hip here when I do this. Stretch forward, and then bring your sternum back. Draw your belly button in, and open up the chest here. Okay, now let's do pigeon on the other side. I'm going to turn around and show you what it looks like from a different direction. I'm going to place a block underneath me. Like this. Go ahead and sit up in your pigeon first. Draw that belly button in so you're not arching into your low back too much. Get that stretch in the front of your back hip. Then come onto your forearms and focus on stretching out that front hip. All right, come on to the tips of your fingertips. And then reach the back of your heart forward, finding that chest expansion. And then draw the sternum back, rounding the spine slightly. And do that again 2 more times. Exhale, draw the belly button in. And then you can come out of pigeon. And let's just take star pose here. So I'm gonna turn and face the camera. Star pose, think of a 4-pointed star or a diamond. Your ankles will be in front of you, feet, soles of the feet pressed together. Sit up nice and tall. Then exhale, grab your ankles, dive forward. Last breath here. Sink deeper into Tadasana. Then you can sit up tall. And then come onto your stomach. And we're going to do some slight back bends while lying down. Place your palms onto the mat on top of each other, forehead on your hands. Have your legs long behind you, and they can be separated. Start by lifting your right leg up and setting it down. Lift the left leg up and set it down. Keep alternating as you lift the legs. Draw the belly button in as you push your pubic bone into the mat. Keep lifting your right leg, lowering it down. Stretch your legs out nice and long. Last time on each side. Think of reaching your leg behind you so much it starts to float up on its own and set it down. Same thing with the left leg. And set it down. Now lift both legs up here. Draw that belly button in though. Lift those legs. Set them down. Lift both legs. See if you can do things simultaneously. Multitask. Last time here, lower the legs down. Now we're gonna work on the other end of our body, lifting our head up, keeping our hands down. Lower the head down. Think of reaching up through the chest, just letting the head and neck follow wherever the chest goes. And set the head down. Now lift your head and your hands together. Bring them up together as one unit. 2 more times. See if you can tighten that waist, tone the belly. As you do this, simultaneously, and set the head down. Make sure you're breathing throughout this, maintaining that equal breath through the nose. Then lastly, lift the head, lift the legs at the same time, and lower everything down. Last one, lift everything up. See if you can sweep the arms back to go into your locust pose, Shalabhasana. Keep the neck long, legs straight and engaged, reaching back, shoulders drawing down the back, then lower everything down. Take a child's pose, stretching out the back. Come back to seated on your mat. Have your legs out in front of you. And you're going to come into the shape of an L. So it's really simple. Have your toes pulling back, heels pushing forward, and have your hands by your sides. This is called staff pose, Tadasana. And it looks very simple. It doesn't look flashy or anything. But what's really important about this pose, like Tadasana, the standing mountain pose, is that we want to work on engagement in all parts of our body, from our legs to our spine, and working on our posture. So this is a particularly good pose to work on if you feel like your posture isn't very good, or that sitting all day makes you hurt your back. Let's work on our posture here. So I have very short arms. My whole hand isn't able to press into the mat, no matter where I put my hand. So find whatever is comfortable. You just need some of your hand onto the mat. Push your hands down, really sit up onto the tips, the front part of your sit bones as you lift your spine up tall. And just hold here for a few breaths. Nice active legs here, pulling those toes back, feeling the pull of your legs back into your body. You should feel your thighs lifting and pulling up. Push your hands more into the mat, open your chest. Imagine you're sitting up against the wall. Literally do this against the wall if you can. To have good posture and the natural alignment of our spine, you want your head back so that you can actually feel your head against that imaginary wall. Same thing with your shoulders and the base of our spine, the sacrum. One more breath here. Draw that belly button in, sit up nice and tall, then release everything. So sometimes in yoga, it's not about how difficult or advanced a pose is, but how much you can feel in one pose, regardless of how fancy it looks. Just shake out those legs. Do your windshield wipers again, not the windmills. Definitely don't do windmills in this class. And last thing, which is an added bonus here before we go into Shavasana, is something that's not in yoga. It's called rolling like a ball. And you're just gonna have a seat like this. Bring both feet up. Either have your hands on your ankles if you want it to be really challenging, on your shins if you want it to be easier, or behind your legs if you want it the easiest way. So draw your belly button in as you round your spine forward. Look into your abdominals and imagine there's an egg underneath your chin. So you don't want to crush it. You don't want to bring your chin completely into your chest, but still gaze forward. Then tip your tailbone back, rock onto your shoulders, rock backwards, and rock back up. Use your abdominals to help bring you back up to a balance. And rock forward 2 more times here. See if you can go back as slowly as you can, using as little momentum as possible so that you're really using your abs to help you come back up. Come all the way up, set the feet down, and then you deserve it. Shavasana, go ahead, lie all the way down. And before we get comfortable, grab your blocks if you have them and set them on the lowest setting underneath your knees. So I have them closer to my thighs, above my knee, and let your legs splay out to the side. Relax here for a few moments. Make a mental note of how well you were able to focus on the breath today, how much you were able to keep it steady on the inhale and exhale. Take note of it, and then let it go. Let everything relax into corpse pose. Start to introduce movement into your fingertips and toes. Start to move the extremities, shaking out your wrists and ankles. Then reach your arms overhead, get a nice stretch like you're waking up for the first time. Exhale, turn to your right. Cradle your head in your hands, in your arms, and take a fetal position. Slowly rise up to seated. Keep your gaze soft here though. And find a comfortable seat. Sit up nice and straight, finding our Tadasana in our seat. Keeping the spine up tall, but relaxed. In yoga, there is this principle of sukha, sweet and easy, and sthira, it means strong and steady. So sukha and sthira, we want a balance of both, like yin and yang. So try to think of maintaining a balance of both as you sit in your seat. Bring your hands to heart center and think of something that made you smile this week. Either think of a person, a smile from a stranger, a compliment, and notice how it makes you feel in your body. So don't assign words to it, but just notice the sensation in your body when you think of this positive memory. Maybe your heart feels lighter, maybe it feels full, maybe you feel like you can stand a little bit taller, maybe your muscles contract into a smile. Hold on to this feeling and then let it go. Let everything melt away, including today's practice. I bow my head in gratitude to you for letting me join your practice today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.